All right, today we're going to look at another way to solve these quadratic equations, but looking at in terms of a formula that has when these have these. So you have like 3x squared plus 4x minus 7, and you need to figure out what it is without having to worry about, because you can't use the square root to solve it. So you have to figure out another method. That method's called the quadratic formula. You kind of see it right above there. You have x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So I want you to do is go ahead and write that down. It's a long form, but make sure you write it down correctly. All right, so as you're writing, you should notice something in there. One of the big pieces of this is this negative b over 2a we've been talking about. So look at this. Here's the negative b over 2a. We've been talking about that, and now it's right inside that formula. It's really hard to remember this thing, so we're going to go through and kind of give you a way to remember it. And that's through a song. I like singing. You guys all know that I have an awesome singing voice. So I'm going to play a song for you. You've all heard Pop Goes the Weasel. So I'm going to give you a chance, and we will play that for you just so you know what's going on. All right, it's really just a piece you need to know. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to sing along for you. Realize I'm a really bad singer, so just deal with it. But I'm going to sing this equation up here along with that. And I'll sing it with the song so at least you can see how off-key I really am. But here we go. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right, so really easy way to remember it. You don't have to do it that way, but it is nice because I'm not going to be giving that formula to you on test or quizzes. It's all up to you to remember. Okay, so what we're looking at is next part is how do you actually use this thing? So we've got our equation here right on top, and you can see I've got A, B, and C already labeled for you. So A is 2, B is 2 also, and C is negative 4. So that's our A, B, and C. So plugging these things in, now we have to take what we've got and plug it in. So x equals, so negative b is going to be negative 2 plus or minus the square root of b squared, so 2 squared, minus 4 times 2 times c, which is negative 4, all over 2 times a, which is 2. Now it's a matter of going through and solving this thing, and this does take a little while to do. So first thing I would look at is what's underneath our radical there, our square root. So negative 2 plus or minus our square root. So we've got 2 squared, so that's 4. And then negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Times negative 4 is going to be a plus 32. So plus 32 all over 4. So I kind of simplified all three things down there right away. I made this way too long, so I'm going to erase this. All right. So next thing we're going to look at is keep going down a step, figuring out what these are. So we've got x equals negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 36 all over 4. And the square root of 36 is pretty simple, so that's going to be 6. So you can see down below we've got negative 2, let's scroll down there, negative 2 plus or minus 6 divided by 4, so that's our next piece. All right, now that we have that, we're going to break it apart in two pieces. So negative 2 plus 6 over 4, and negative 2 minus 6 over 4. All right, so solving these two out, negative 2 plus 6 is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Negative 2 minus 6 is negative 8. So dividing that by 4 gives you negative 2. There's your two answers. So 1 and negative 2. So just like you had before with your square roots, you still have two possible solutions. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you another one, and I want you to figure out what it is on your own. So I'm guessing I got the work up here, so I'm going to get rid of all this. I forgot to erase beforehand. All right, so your job is to figure out what this one is. So you have 2x squared plus 2x minus 12. All right, should have that done. So again, we've got A, B, and C. So x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. That gives us x equals negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 12 all over 2 times 2. One thing I want to point out with this negative b, if this starts out as, say, a negative 3, that means it's a negative 3, so it becomes positive. Okay, so now doing some of our math here, x equals negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4, and then negative 4 times 2 is negative 8, times negative 12 is 96, so we get plus 96 all over 2 times 2, which is 4. All right. So x equals negative 2 plus or minus. 4 plus 96 is 100. Square root of 100 is 10. So plus or minus 10 all over 4. So now here's where you split it apart. So negative 2 plus 10 over 4. Negative 2 minus 10 all over 4. So negative 2 plus 10 is 8. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Negative 2 minus 10 is negative 12. Divided by 4 is negative 3. So there's your 3 answers. All right. So there's your video for today. Kind of a tricky problem. Make sure you know what A, B, and C are, so you have them in the correct order, so you're using them correctly. All right. We will see you on Monday. Have a good weekend. Make sure you get all your work done for Monday.